so I'm really excited at the prospect of taking this job. I think I have pretty considerable experience going into this. For anyone who might not know, I've been the head fashion editor for Montreal, Toronto, and New York City-based website for almost 2 years now. So through that, I manage their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter for that particular section. I manage a team of writers, and I'm the one who's kind of responsible for making their work be as noticed as possible on the internet, which I think is something that the PSSA would benefit from, because that's what we're doing, because this entire association serves to further the interests and work of our students. In that vein, I've also been part of a couple of PSSA initiatives, including the new undergraduate academic journal called Political Affairs, which will be out later this semester. So yet another way in which I think that we're really, shining the light on the really great talent we have. It's an enormous department full of talented people. Someone just mentioned, whenever you go to a PSSA debate or event, you always encounter really intelligent people who are really willing to talk to each other. So I think as VP Comms, I could help shine a light on that. And a lot of things we've been talking about is also apathy. That's very much the job of VP Comms, because we're kind of the first people in charge of outreach. So I'm actually a transfer student and didn't find out about the PSSA for a pretty long time. And when I did, it has ameliorated my time here so much more, because you walk into class and you actually know someone. So another way also that I have been part of the PSSA, and something that I would love to bring under the umbrella of VP Comms is, as you can see this camera right here, I've been part of PoliTalk, which is also our new video series. We haven't produced as much as we wanted to, because we're getting, we're figuring out kind of the basic process, which is also communicating with other networks and platforms at Concordia. We have a relationship with CUTV right now that Trent and I have been fostering. So that's another way in which I think that we could reach more and more people. That being said, I think that one of the very obvious things that we could do as VP Communications is reach out on every social media platform possible. But I don't think that's quite enough. Something that I really realized talking to, even when I was in my nomination period, I met a couple of first-year students who didn't know much about the PSSA, and it brought me back to how I was. I think that it's all easy for us to say that we want to combat apathy, but the problem is that we're already all part of the PSSA. Simply by running, that means we have a huge vested interest in the PSSA. So I think the best way, and what I really want to do, and again, I'm not promising that I could go out and talk to everyone, but what I really want to do is talk to those first-year students who are really interested in learning more about the PSSA. We had 2 people already come up and be like, these are very specific things that I think should happen if the PSSA is going to reach out. I think that reaching out to professors is going to be a great thing. It's something that I think really benefited me is when you do have a professor who has a great relationship with his class. If he's going to say, hey, you guys, pay attention to this person, I'm going to welcome an ambassador up to the front, not just tolerate them, because we've all had professors who do that, who just kind of sit idly by a little sullenly and let the ambassador
just
talk.
30 seconds. You have just 30 seconds. It's like
exactly. And it's like, oh, thanks. The students are really going to want to be part of the PSSA if I'm not even welcome in this class. Again, not saying that every professor is going to be happy with that, but I think that the ones who do, and there are quite a few of them, if we talk to them, and I really want to establish really strong connections with those professors, our time in those classrooms are going to be so much more rewarded than time we spend somewhere else. So that's something I'm really interested in doing. Something that would be a default, I think, for me in another job, but would probably be good for me in this job, is that I also love designing things. And like I said, that is very distracting from other work like schoolwork, but for this job I think would definitely be an asset. What else was I saying? Right, so we've all been talking about the ambassador program. I think it's great that we have it. I think there are a couple of issues that we all kind of want to work on it. I think one of the things I'm most interested in too, though, is just being very realistic about the capabilities of certain programs that we have. As a person who's been writing as a volunteer, I've been published online and in student journals, student newspapers. the thing is that volunteers only have so much time and energy to give. So I think the best thing we can ask out of all of our executives is to be flexible, really take the time to assess the needs of ambassadors, of our students, and then create really flexible platforms and ideas from that.